So, on Roswell, New Mexico, her character Liz is now living in Los Angeles and keeping to herself, at least until her friend Kyle comes to visit.
Come on. I know you're trying to save the world.
Right now, I would just settle for saving Maria's mind from degenerating every time she has a vision. Yeah, but I'm stuck trying to replicate what I did with Steph without my notes or tapes or antibodies from Noah's choroid plexus because Max Evans roasted them.
You weren't going to solve a global pandemic with Noah's corpse.
You don't know that. Why are you defending Max right now? You gotta be Team Liz. Team Liz!
As the founding member of Team Liz, I gotta tell you, you seem unhappy.
Well, I'm happy because we might get answers to these questions. Is she staying away from Roswell all season? What will happen next? Is she ever going to teach me the dance class she promised me? We don't know. But Roswell, New Mexico star Jeanine Mason is here, hopefully, to, settle all these issues we have, especially Jeanine.
You and me. You and me. That's first on my list post-pandemic. We're going to get to this dance class. I know I promised it. Listen, it's
Okay,
going to happen.
I forgive you.
Whatever you want.
I forgive you. Well, as you know, I said, is Liz going to stay in Los Angeles the whole time? What's going to happen this season? And I'm sure you're used to these questions, especially since you participated in San Diego Comic-Con International as part of the virtual panel. So talk to us about how this event was, because it's Comic-Con, it's virtual, the fans are there, but not really. How was this experience for you?
It's always a bummer to not get to be, at the Javits Center at New York Comic Con, getting to see fans, meet them and hug them. And it's just, sci-fi fans are incredible, but particularly ours, if I may be so biased. So that was a bummer, but it was just so lovely to have a way to connect with everyone. And we were so excited to get back to season 3. I think you can feel our enthusiasm to get to be back on set and together in like every frame of this season. So I'm excited for fans to see it this year.
All right, so how much were you allowed to reveal at Comic-Con? Because going in there that they're gonna, if you're on a panel, the fans are gonna show up with questions. So what were you told to say and what were you told to stay away from?
I tend to, I'm easily swayed by people who are enthusiastic and excited and loving. I am like, you can get me to spill things so easy. So they tend to know when to be like, let's now get Jeanine off this stage and move in the next actor. But yeah, we're not allowed to talk all that much about new romances this year. And yet I had to be reminded of that this morning because I've been talking about Liz's new romantic interest for days now.
Yeah, but which brings me to Max, because I do not like the situation between Liz and Max. No. I am hoping and praying that things turn out well. But since you're not allowed to talk about it, blink twice if all will be well in Roswell for both of them. Blink. I saw you.
Get me in trouble.
No, yeah, you just blinked. I saw it. Okay. I'm keeping my hopes high and up. All right, so from Roswell, New Mexico to New York, New York, because word on the street is that this is now your home. Is that correct? Your new address is in the NYC?
Yes, finally. I'm
really
so happy to be here.
Oh, we're happy to have you. And by we, I mean me, myself, and I. So
Good,
do you have any favorite hangouts? And I can't promise I won't be popping up like randomly.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh, so many. I mean, I went to the Comedy Cellar this week. I went to Cherry Lane Theater to see a show. It just feels so nice to be back, at least to some degree, inside theaters. And even though I will soon be back in New Mexico shooting, I mean, New York is my home, so I'm going to be coming back as often as I can, especially in September, to get back to those Broadway shows and support our local artists.
Good to know. Yeah. Good to know. Let me tell you, I love the comedies. Comedy clubs are my jam. They used to be back in the day. People would like to go to nightclubs. I'm like, let's go to the comedy club, because it just, you leave there with like such a great feeling, and
Oh yeah.
And now that you mentioned Broadway, when people, because voice actors, dancers, all that. Let's talk about voicing, because you have a new character you're voicing in Trollstopia. Correct?
Yes. Yeah, Minuet Sonata is her name. Her register's about like 3 higher than how I am currently speaking, and it's just been the dream job. I have a real spaz inside me. I've been like a bit of an extra, theater kid since I was young, and I have to try so hard on this show to bring it down to a normal woman. And on Trollstopia, I get to just fully be in my essence and be extra. And it's the best. Every time I go in there to record, I lose my voice because I just have such a good time blowing it out.
Okay, I was gonna have you do it, but I don't want you to lose your voice because you have important things to do.
Thank you.
And here's the deal, because I always bring up dancing with you because we see you as a scientist. You're like a super duper smart woman on Roswell, New Mexico, but I first got introduced to you. I first started stalking you from because that's what plays in my head. So you think again, dance. And you won, was it season 5?
Yes. That was my first job. I was 4 days out of high school when I started that gig. And it was like getting to jump into the TV screen. And it set me up for everything I've gotten to do since. And I'm always a dancer first. And it's a big part of why I wanted to come back and be on the East Coast and be in New York. It's just reconnecting to the part of my artist that is most me, is the part that's in her body, and that is a lover of movement. So I'm really happy to be back.
I'm a lover of movement too. I'll be moving wherever you are, moving towards your direction, so you can teach me some moves, so we can together like you promised me.
Yeah.
But before that happens, Jeanine, we're all going to be checking you out tonight as Liz Orteco in the season premiere of Roswell, New Mexico. That's happening 8 p.m. right here on the CW. See you soon, Liz. You don't have to tell me where you hang. I know you told me Comedy Cellar, you just brushed it off, but I'll find out. See you soon. I'm an alien, so I'll pop up wherever you are. So good to see you.
So good to see you.
Liz and
I'll
Max.
see you soon, hopefully in person.
Liz and Max. You know it will happen. Don't even play with me. I will find you, however way I can.
Oh my God.
Dan, Kristen, she knows.